So ice skating said test.
Okay, sincere.
When they got
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ridiculous. Okay, louder. 1, 2, 3.
Ridiculous.
Okay, even louder. 1, 2, 3.
Ridiculous.
All right, cool. Because
What's a lion noise? Then what's a tiger noise if that's a lion noise? Does a tiger go meow?
Look out, Charlie yelled. Here I come.
Favorite book, and it's funny, I was thinking about this today when I was listening to all the kids talk. My favorite book was in grade 6, and I still have it on my shelf today. I go back and I still read it every once in a while, and the older I get, the more it means to me. But I remember being in grade 6 and reading W.P. Kinsella's Shoeless Joe, the book that Field of Dreams, the movie, is based upon. And one of the greatest examples of all time, that no matter what, the book is always better than the movie.
Oh gosh, I love to read, but I have to say James and the Giant Peach. I probably reread that one year after year.
A lot of those, the Disney books, the Disney novels, especially in first and second grade, those were definitely some of my favorites, and I find myself reading to my kids these days.
Yeah.
Basically the same novels that I was exposed to back in the day. So I would say some of those, but there are just so many of them that I would be doing a disservice if I just picked one.
Growing up, I mean, it ranges in ages, but I would say Where the Wild Things Are was my favorite kids book, and I read that to my son constantly. He probably knows all the words by now. Getting older, I mean, I was a big reader. I read a ton of books, so now I'm really into Nicholas Sparks, romantic books, that sort of thing.
When I was in elementary school, middle school, it was definitely the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, okay.
I think I read all of them within a few months. I was obsessed with them.
Oh my goodness, I loved the Bernstein Bears, the Clifford, Big Red Dog. Oh my goodness, all those classic childhood stories.
Like all kinds of cartoons I could read when I was a kid. I would get my hand on it and read it all the way through. I never really read novels, but I'm now starting to read big books. Yeah. I think it's really important to read and just stimulates your brain.
One of my favorite books, I think, was Anne of Green Gables. I read the whole series, and I've always wanted to go and visit her house in Prince Edward Island, but I haven't made it there yet. But I was in 4th grade, and I had a teacher who lived in Saskatchewan, and she came to teach in Montreal. And she encouraged us to read and to write, and we had pen pals with kids in Saskatchewan. And she was the one that gave me the book and said, try reading it, Donna, and I've loved it. So that's my all-time favorite.
Actually, growing up, I'm actually French, so French is my first language. And growing up, what I used to love reading is all the books Martine. Martine va au parc, Martine en bateau, Martine s'amuse avec ses amis. Those were the kind of books that I used to love to read.
Oh my lord, I used to love the Nancy Drew mystery books. I read them all of them way back then.
My favorite book, I think, must have been Charlotte's Web. I read it in elementary. I also really liked Holes. I thought it was amazing.
Gosh, I'll have to put my finger on one. There are so many good ones. One of my favorites reading in school was probably Le Petit Prince. That was definitely one that I think has almost become mandatory across the school system, but it's definitely one of the best.
Yeah. Nope, this is my first time seeing it too, but I like the title. Your second time? Okay, so we get reading? Okay, the best movie ever. Nicholas was happily reading in the bed when his dad urged him to the room. Guess what, son? The goalie on your team is sick. How do you feel about playing in the Sure, said Nicholas without thinking. No problem. His dad tucked him in and kissed him goodnight. Nicholas lay in the dark, his eyes wide open. He kept thinking, I've never stopped a puck in my life.
My doctor's office about when I was 18, my family doctor. I still have the same family doctor, and the first thing she told me about my studies was if you keep reading, you will succeed no matter what. Always read, continue to read, and never stop.
Reading helps in more ways than they would know. Growing up, it obviously comes in handy to know all these types of things. Reading, writing, speaking, it helps with. I think it makes people more personable, more educated. It's just, there's like endless benefits to reading.
It will help foster and feed your curiosity levels for the rest of your life. And as long as you remain curious, you'll remain passionate. So read as much as you can. It will make you happier, it will make you smarter, and it will make you want to know more.
It's extremely important to really develop a love for reading, because that's just going to make everything in life later on easier. It's really the foundation for everything. We actually already started reading to the baby. Once the doctor said that the baby could hear, we started reading.
Well, I think it's extremely important that you're knowledgeable in being able to pick up whether it's a book, a newspaper, or whatever the case may be, and read what you're supposed to read. And obviously, I think reading goes beyond just what they're asking you to do at school. It's any free time you have. Pick up a book, pick up a paper, pick up something of interest, and read up on it, and become a little bit more knowledgeable. And never lose the opportunity to advance your thinking and also your vocabulary by picking up a book and trying to better yourself on a daily basis.
You have to read, and you have to read every day, and you're going to use it every single day of your life forever in anything you do. Even if you want to learn, for example, how to play a game, how to do something, you're going to have to read. So it's really important that you take up a book and you learn how to read, and you read all the time.
I think it would just be to keep reading, because it's important for spelling and for communication, which is really important. It's important to speak in French and English in Quebec.
You get into the habit of reading often, because as you grow older, more and more responsibilities, less and less time for yourself, less and less time to be able to read. So try and get into a habit where you put aside a couple of minutes or hours a day to get some reading done.
Definitely, readers are leaders. So read and be a leader.
ABC, ABC, yes, 1, 2, 3, 1.